Welcome team, it is that time. It's time for the weekly Q&A at Premier Property, and if you're joining me for the first time, my name is Kam Dovedi and we're going to jump into some key questions all about property that are being asked right now. And we have a real selection here, a lot of variety, the type of questions being asked, questions about airspace, questions about actually getting a property deal secured before the stamp duty holiday. So we're going to jump into this right now. And if you're joining me for the first time here and you're watching this on YouTube, then my name is Kam Dovedi. I'm the founder of Premier Property and I'm an investor developer over the last 30 years, and I'm doing this on a weekly basis to answer your questions. So do feel free to subscribe to our channel. You can do this right now. And also, if you click that bell icon, if you press that bell icon, you will get the latest video. And I'm doing a lot of videos on site as well. So feel free to join in and get as much knowledge as possible to move forward. So I'm going to jump into the questions right now. Now, be aware these questions are from our Premier Property Inner Circle community. And the first question I've got here is from Mindy. So Mindy is asking, Cam, what are your views about online agents like Purplebricks? Ask an agent. Purplebricks, what do you think? So Mindy, Purplebricks is a really good agent for you as an investor, because what happens with Purplebricks is it attracts people where they want to be doing the viewings themselves. So if you think about it, if the seller is doing the viewings themselves and you're dealing through the estate agent, what we do is we get the opportunity to actually speak to the seller, right? Now we always work through the agents, we always work through Purplebricks, but I love Purplebricks because you're able to negotiate the deal with the seller directly and then put that offer through the estate agent. So they're really good as far as we're concerned. I don't know how great they are for the sellers though, but you get what you pay for. And Purplebricks are cheap, right? They're cost effective, yeah. So I've got a number of agents that are good friends at Purplebricks, and they do a great job. They're called local experts, so it's like their own business, like a franchise. They get a territory, and that's how it all works with a central system. One of the online agents amongst many. So you can get good deals from them and be able to negotiate. Is the summary to the question that you're asking there, Mindy. Hope that helps you there. So Purplebricks, yeah, that's how we use them. Use their services. Next up, we got Paul. So Paul Griffin is asking about certificates of lawfulness. So certificates of lawfulness, just for clarity. So how are they used? So one example is, so maybe you've seen a building where it's got a set of flats within that building where they're being converted. However, at some point they were converted, but there wasn't any planning permission that was asked for. So you've got this building, it's already been converted, and as long as it's been there for a number of years, what you will find is you can ask for a certificate of lawful use. So things that will allow you to assess whether you can get the certificate of lawful use, where the planning in real terms will be granted, if you like. I mean, it's not actually a planning process, but what I'm saying is it will be deemed as being flats in that unit. Are things like, first of all, are the council tax separated? Are the utility bills, the utility services separated? So these are the kind of things that you will be looking for to make sure that you can actually have that certificate of lawfulness. It makes it more viable for you. Okay, so that's a question from Paul Griffin. Like you're thinking, creative deals. And next up, we have a question by Hannah Griffith, and Hannah is asking, hi there, Cam. I just wanted to know what are your experiences on mortgaging a cash purchase of a buy-to-let after completion. And yeah, so basically Hannah is buying a property buy-to-let, paying cash for it, and is thinking about remortgaging it afterwards. So she's asking, do you have to wait the 6 months? How do you do it? So what we do at Premier is we have 3 ways of doing this. So one way is to actually buy the property with a mortgage right at the beginning. And typically what we then do is we refinance that 6 months later, because that tends to be the best cost-effective way of financing. However, sometimes what we do is we will buy that property cash and then we will remortgage. Now, typically it is 6 months. Now remember, when it's 6 months, it's not necessarily 6 months from the purchase date. It's 6 months from when that property is actually on land registry. Yeah, when it's actually showing on land registry as yours. So that's a key point there, because that 6 months can sometimes end up being 7 months. So if you're on timeline, it's good to know this, isn't it, right? So that is the second way of doing it. And the third way we do this, now, I wouldn't say we do this to every single deal, but we do it to the ones where, we've uplifted the value quite considerably by adding value to the property, such as a conversion, an extra room, or, a refurbishment, something that added value to it quite fast, and we want to refinance that quickly. Well, the thing is, in my experience, there are lenders that we're using where, you can get that done. So do speak to a good mortgage broker, get some financial advice on that one. But we're doing that, selectively, depending on the deal. So Hannah, you could look for those lenders. Just weigh up the costs. Does it make sense? What's your return on investment? Because you're always looking for return on investment if you're like me. And make a choice and make a decision. Yeah, like the way you're thinking there. So great question there. Next up, we got a question here by Maurice. So I'm going to go into Maurice's question here. And before I do, if you haven't subscribed and you're here, feel free to subscribe and join us. It'd be great for you to be part of our community, and you'll get the videos first. So feel free to do that. You can just click on that bell icon and you will get the latest notification. Right now I'm doing these on a weekly basis. So let's jump over to Maurice's question. So Maurice is asking, how do I get my solicitors and other parties involved to do all the necessary to ensure we complete before 30th of June? So Maurice is in a race to get there before the 30th of June. Well, so what do you do? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do it really quickly? Well, Maurice, first of all, you've got to have proactive solicitors. Solicitors that will actually get back to you quickly within the 24 hours. So that's number one. You need these, and you're going to have to push. Next, you're going to decide how you're purchasing this property, because if you're purchasing it through finance, then that's going to obviously delay that a little bit, because you're going to have a bit more time to actually finance it across the line. So if you're able to buy cash, or if you are able to use short-term funding, you have a solution there to move forward faster within the time frame that you've got. So that's key. Thirdly, it's about communicating with the solicitor on the other side. So on the seller's side, to making sure that they've got everything as quick as they possibly can. Making sure you start the searches right now. Making sure you got the environmental search on its way. Making sure you got local authority search on its way. If it's in a mining area, then making sure you got your mining search on its way. And all these searches, you get them started now, because they can typically take around 2 to 3 weeks to actually come back to you. So that's something that you can be doing. Now, if you're really on a fast track, sometimes what we've done is we've taken indemnity insurance for the searches. So rather than do the search, we've actually taken an indemnity insurance to say, just in case something crops up in the search, the insurance company will indemnify that. Now, to be fair, I wouldn't say we do that with many deals. Very far and few between, because I'd rather get the searches done in that time frame. So it really does depend on the deal. But if it's kind of a really timely deal where it's got to happen now, then we've done that on the odd occasion. But you can look into that as well. So it's all of these put together which will get you over the line. Like I say, cash or short-term finance will get you the money in quick. Maurice, hope that answered your question. And we're going for the final question that we've got here, and this is from Milena. So Milena, another one of our Premier Property Inner Circle members, very proud of Milena. She's just very proud of a number of our members. All the people we've just asked questions, they're really on it. I mean, I love it. It's great. They're really moving forward in property. It's brilliant. And Milena has just bought a development project, and this is the second one she's asking a question about. So Milena is saying, great to see you yesterday. It was a true. Yep. So, could I ask a question today? Yes, you can. What is airspace above a building? That's the first question. Second question is, what are the pitfalls? And are there any value in them? And she's seen an airspace at an auction potential on top of a commercial building, and it's on a leasehold of 999 years. Okay. So what is airspace? So right now, if you're like us at Premier, you're always looking at the different angles. Now, what investors are doing, what sellers are doing, they're finding these angles where there is space above properties, where maybe there's a precedent set on either side. So you think about it. Think of a street where you've got a commercial building on one side, another commercial building on another side, and in the middle there is a commercial building. However, it's not at the same height. There is a space in the middle. Just giving you one example. So that's an example of an airspace, and sellers can sell that airspace should they choose to, especially if they created separate leases, and they can sell the top part of that, or a freehold. Now, the thing is, you got to be very careful of these leases. Now, if you're mentioning a 999-year lease, well, that's fine. So that's a virtual freehold, which is brilliant. Just like what we've got here right now, so you kind of own the property. However, remember, there is still a freeholder that is responsible for the ground rent, or communal spaces, all that kind of thing. So my point is that you will have to ask the freeholder for permission to do what you want to do, and the freeholder could turn around and say, "Sorry, no, can't do it," or they might turn around and say, "Well, they want X amount of money to actually allow you to do what you want to be doing." So what I would suggest is that when you're looking at these types of buildings, you really want a freehold. You want to be able to purchase a freehold where you haven't really got a freeholder involved. You are the owner of the freehold. Obviously, you can make a decision and you can do this, right? So that would be my suggestion. So look out for things like that, yeah, go for it as long as the numbers work. Yeah, a great way of doing developments. Also, another thing to be aware of. So I would suggest is have a look at the type of building. Will the building structure actually take on another floor? Now that's the key one, right? So we're doing one of these right now where we're actually adding a flat, into as I've just explained. Actually, we're adding a flat on top. So what we're going to have to do there is, there's some extra beams that are going to be going into the current flat that's there, the level that's there already. So there's some beams going in there, some strengthening, some steel work to be done, and that will allow that extra floor to be going on there. There are some modern methods of construction as well. So there's different ways of looking at that. So that's a little bit further down the line. But what I would suggest is you definitely want to make sure that it's a freehold. Check the viability, check the numbers work, and absolutely, then jump in. So there we have 5 questions this week. And if you've got any comments, I'd love to hear from your comments. If you've got experience in this, I'd love to hear your experience. It's brilliant to have more experience in the room. And if you're new to property, I'd love to hear your questions. And like what I say, feel free to comment. There's no judgment. You can come in and say what you like, whatever you want to be adding in, and there's no silly question. I will do my best, and I will continue to do my best to help yourself to answer these questions. So I see you this time next week. Subscribe if you haven't. My name's Kam Dovedi, helping you to take your property investing to the next level. I'll see you next week.